Hello, Meow.
Meow.
And welcome back to the channel.
I'm Shift.
I'm Electro.
And we are.
Shift Row.
Whoa.
Whee! We're back today with another commission.
Yeah, for Meow Cat. Meow Cat.
Meow Cat.
Meow.
Meow. And this character is called Val. V-A-L.
What a coincidence. The Electro drawing Val.
Oh, this is like my gender bend soda.
Whoa.
But yeah, so this character is like super cool. I really love how it turned out with this one.
Yeah, the background kind of reminds me of Jazz's kind of like music notes and stuff like that, like floating.
I may or may not have used the same brush. But I use it because I love that brush, and then when you give it like a glow and stuff, it just looks really cool. So like spam, spam, spam.
I know I've been spamming the brushes on my pictures. I've probably got like 17 videos to come out.
You're just being there like, oh, I've done a picture. I'm like, yeah, I just did a sketch. You're like, I've done another picture. Yeah, I just did the hair.
It's not like I'm rushing, it's just like done.
It just takes so long sometimes because it's just like my hand hurts, like especially when like shading hair, my hand and my wrist is just like, Meow Maos, stop it, please.
Dude, I just shaded someone's hair that was the length of the page. I was like, okay, I've done half the lowlights. Now the highlight. Oh, I need to take a break. That took like half an hour.
Val's hair, I ended up giving her like she's got a ponytail, so I did like a big ass windy, like, you know,
hair for days.
Yeah, so I didn't have to go just down the page, I have to go across and then back across and then back again. And I was like, ah! And then the colours didn't really turn out, so then I had to do more and more until I was finally happy with it. And by then my wrist was like, I give up!
Yeah, doing brown hair is very fickle. It's like, do you go with a brown base orange or do you go with a brown base red? And if you go with brown base red, is it just going to highlight and low light and look completely just blood red?
Well, the thing is, what happened with this one is that when I darkened it, it went like black, and then when I lightened it, it went like a really faded ashy, like a gross kind of color. So it's like I'll add a little bit of more orange into it, and then after I did that, it started to look really nice.
Yeah, I was like going there and I'm like, scale up the brown, scale down the brown. I'm like, if I put it here and you low light it, it's gonna go really, really black. And then I'm like, I'll put it higher. And then I'm like, if you highlight this, it's gonna look blonde. I'm like,
And yeah, like with this one as well, I was like, my goal for this year is to like really work on doing like more expressions in the faces and stuff, because all I really do is like serious face.
As well as you use harsh lines on the females' faces for the noses. Yes. And I said with comic book characters, they barely use a harsh line for female noses. They're barely there. They've got tiny noses. So I was like, why don't you try and make the noses a little bit different from male to female?
Yes, and that's what we did here. Well, what I did here is I took that advice, and the first attempt, it looked like just a pig nose, you know, the big nostrils, because the light drew was like the nostril.
Nose.
Yes, so that one. And I was like, okay, let's try this again. So I just added like a little bit of more details, but I just didn't add the bridge line like I usually do.
Yeah.
And it helped make it look like a cute little nose. I was like, oh, that's super cute. And then with the mouth as well, I was like talking to Shift. I was like, can you smile for me? And you're looking at me like, why am I doing this?
I looked over at one time and you were just like smiling and then going back to normal and smiling. And then you turned around while you're open mouth smiling. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And
yeah, because I'm sitting there like, now what does a smile look like? And then I smile. I'm like trying to imagine like myself looking at myself smiling. Like, okay, that's how it would kind of look like. And I try and imagine it. Like, you turn around all the time, and I have like my elbow up on the desk and my hands like turned around in an awkward position. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to draw a damn hand. So I like use my own hand as like a reference, and then I'm like trying to draw it. I'm like, okay, that's good.
I'll be your hand model.
But sometimes you're working too, so it's like I have to just do it. So I'm just sitting there like, okay, I can draw this. Yep, got it. So that's what I do all the time. And like, yeah, and then with the shading and stuff, I tried to go a little bit like softer on the features as well, because when we did Cotton, who was like a furry type character. I did very soft shading. I really loved how it looked at the end.
Yeah, so did a lot of other people apparently.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. We had like heaps of comments of like, oh, hey guys, BFFs. But yeah, so I did softer shading and it just looks really nice and I really love it. And when I look at it, I'm like, she's a Sailor Scout.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I wonder if this is an OC for a Sailor Scout. And I was like, what planet is she? I'm like, there's all these like other planetary bodies, like Ceres and stuff like that. And I'm like, ooh, what if she's Sailor Ceres?
She's planet too fabulous for all of yous. That's what I'm getting anyways. Look at her, she's just like, ah. We're looking at the end picture, by the way, so we know what it looks like.
Even when I was doing the coloring, it was so good because that actual top color that she, t-shirt color that she's got, I love using that color. It's so nice.
The yellowy one?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, as well as like the colors of this one are so different as well, which is so much fun to like try and figure out. Usually I have like lots of issues when it comes to shading yellow to not look muddy or gold.
Yeah, when I actually use this color, I got it from the picture and it was all the way up the top. So you couldn't shade it, you couldn't highlight it, you could only shade it. So then I took it down and the medium ground of it is actually gold.
Yeah, and also, like, they even had brown eyes, which is something I really never do. Because, you know, when you're coloring eyes, you want to go like, bright green, bright purple, bright pink, whatever color that isn't natural.
Well, I think it's also because when I do characters or ask you to do my OCs, my characters never have brown eyes because I have natural brown eyes. So you get blue, red, purple from me, and then you've got blue eyes and you just do blue eyes on all your characters.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But yeah, so that's pretty much the picture. Well, we've got to say about the picture today. We didn't get a backstory or anything, which is, you know, a bit upsetting because I really like the character.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome.
And that
but
hair,
if they do have a backstory, then we can post it in some
or they can
formal way.
share it, just write it in the comments down below. I'm pretty sure they follow us on YouTube as well, because this is an amino commission like all the other ones.
Yeah, we didn't say that, I don't think, but
No.
now we have, so just
Yes.
copy and paste this at the start.
Did we say the name of the character? Yes, yes, we did, yes.
Yeah.
The brain's gone. But yeah, so that's it. What are you guys looking to like improve this year in art? Mine is expressions and more dynamic poses as well, but mainly expressions.
And mine is everything. I'm actually working on doing patterns and overlays and stuff like that. And I just learned how to draw feet, kind of.
Yay! Yeah, it's good that you're still keeping to it, because you were like, I'm gonna do it, and then you were having breaks, but you've been constant.
Yeah, well, I actually was doing the Unchained series, and then I was like, I have to keep focused on the Unchained series. And then we played Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, so many princesses. And I'm like, oh, I should do a gender bend of all of them, but with a little bit of hint of me in them. So it's like, I'm a pretty princess, or whatever.
Yeah. And they've turned out so good. The ones that he has finished are like, oh look, it's so good. Because you've even asked me to help, like, give you tips on the shading and stuff now, so you're doing like even more complicated shading than what you were.
Yeah, it's taking so much longer.
That's it. They look so good now. Like the hair on some of them looks so amazing.
I know, right?
But yeah, so that's enough of us talking about ourselves. Hey, how are you guys going? But yes, also don't forget to like and subscribe.
And click the bell emoticon if you wanna. If you don't, click it anyway.
But yeah, and also there'll be links to everything down below. Go binge watch all our other videos because we know you want to. Yeah. Okay, bye meow.
Meow.